the political science department. I've also been affiliated with the center for quite some time. And I direct the graduate program in international relations and the undergraduate program in international studies and diplomacy. And I just like to really say how excited I am to have an opportunity to share and see today some of the real benefits of the core mission of the Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies in the internationalization of nonviolence and institutionalization of it. You're going to get just a little glimpse today of the scope and scale and really outstanding contributions that the support and education and training of the center has launched in the world, and the miraculous work that people are doing. So with that very brief introduction, I'd like to invite my colleagues who are co-presenting today to introduce themselves, and we'll get on with the substantive part of the program.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tupten. I was born to Tibetan parents. I grew up in India. My background is in Buddhist studies. I joined URI Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies. I first came here for the International Nonviolent Summer Institute for level 1 and 2, and then I moved to URI in the end of 2010, and I coordinate the International Nonviolent Summer Institute since 2011, and I also coordinate the Inner Peace Healthy Minds project here, and teach a course for the honors program. So I'm very happy and fortunate to be here with you today. And seems like Roberta is here too. Roberta.
Hi, everybody. My apologies. My Zoom audio has been acting up. So thank you so much. We're very... Oh, can you hear me? Oh, great. Okay, awesome. Thank you. It's echoing on my end, so I wasn't sure. Welcome, everyone. We're delighted to join you today. And thank you so much for the Office of International Education, of the International Students and Scholars, for putting this wonderful week together and giving us an opportunity to share with all of you some of our programming background. As kindly introduced by Tupten and Kristen, my name is Roberta Opara. I'm with the Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies. I'm an international teaching scholar, and with the center, I teach, or I've taught with the director for the past 2 years, peace psychology, global peace, courses on intro to psychology, and our pivotal course 479, which is Introduction to Kenyan Nonviolence. Part of that is, of course, linked to our annual International Institute, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But in that position, I came to the center seeking international education myself. Coming from Nigeria, I came to URI, and as most of us can tell, it's a campus you fall in love with. You meet the faculty and the students and the staff, and the rest is history. So I first came in 2014 to receive my training at the center, and I came back to get my level 2. And since then, things have evolved. And here I am at the center, just happy to continue to teach, to educate, to train, and to let people know how they can reach us to be part of the beloved community of Kenyan nonviolence. So thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you, Roberta and Christine. And now I would like to tell you a little bit about the Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies here at URI. And so maybe I will show you the, let me share the screen with you. Okay, so hope you can all see this screen, okay? So this is the website for URI, Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies, that is uri.edu/nonviolence. And so the center was established in as you see here, in 1998 by Dr. Bernard Lafayette. And so he was the first director. And when Dr. Bernard Lafayette left, Dr. Paul Bueno de Mesquita served as the served as the director. Actually, Paul is here with us, so maybe I'll request Paul to share a little bit about the center, if you don't mind.
Okay, thank you, Tupten. Well, I don't want to take up too much time, only to say that as explained on the website, and Tupten has said a few words about it, the center really was established based on the work of a core group of faculty members who were interested in the issues of peace and how to effectively manage conflict. And Bernard Lafayette arrived on the campus about that time and established the Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies under his leadership. He was appointed by the previous president at URI, Dr. Robert Carruthers. President Carruthers appointed Bernard Lafayette based on his very unique background in American civil rights history, working side by side with Dr. King, a freedom writer, one of the student founders with John Lewis and Diane Nash and Jim Bevel of the Student Nonviolence Coordinating Committee years ago, a leader in the Nashville sit-in movement, and a long resume of extraordinary civil rights and human rights work. Bernard was given on Dr. King's final day in Memphis before Dr. King was murdered there, a very special vision by Dr. King to educate and train people internationally and to embed nonviolence education and training in the fabric of institutions, educational institutions, organizations, corporations, to make nonviolence a more active part of our society. And Bernard brought that vision many years later to university. He began to train a core group of faculty here. I was fortunate to be one of those faculty members. And as Dr. Lafayette moved on to other distinguished positions at Emory and now associated with Auburn University in Alabama, he left the center in place for us to carry on this very important work. And that's what I've been doing with the assistance of Tupten now for over 10 years. And it's a fascinating place of opportunities for anyone. And I invite you all, if you're curious to learn more or you want to become more active in nonviolence and peace work, to engage with the center. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paul. And so as Paul mentioned, there are many opportunities here, including the courses that we offer, also the International Nonviolent Summer Institute outreach program, Healthy Minds Inner Peace Research Project, as well as the Gandhi Essay Award contest and outreach programs to school and colleges outside. So there are wonderful programs, as you may all visit this website. And so now I would ask Dr. Christine to introduce our next speaker or the video message.
So I'm really delighted actually to introduce the information from this video. Amani Tom is a civil rights activist and a community builder from the Democratic Republic of Congo. He is also a level 3 Kenyan nonviolence trainer, as he's completed multiple levels of the training from the URI Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies. And one of the really wonderful things about Amani that I can share, in addition to the fabulous work, is he's really committed to coming and sharing it. So the kind of work that he's doing is not just centered on engaging in nonviolence as an idea, but really supporting entire communities in the engagement of nonviolent practice. We've been so fortunate, particularly in the graduate program in international relations, that he's come and visited and shared the experience, the motivation, and the struggles that he's encountered in realizing his vision. So I really would, the challenge of nonviolence in the Congo is really real, given the scope and impact of conflict in the country. And the work he does is nothing short of amazing. So I will have him speak for himself, but I just hit this enduring relationship that he has with URI is not only benefiting a tremendous number of people in the Congo, but really also providing a vision for students in URI academic programs for what can happen when engaging in this type of work.
All right. Hello. Can you tell us your name and where you are from?
Hello. My name is Amani Tom from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I am a civil rights activist here on the ground in the Eastern Congo.
Thank you very much, Amani. And could you tell us what experiences motivated you to seek nonviolence training?
Thanks very much, Thompson, for asking that question. The ongoing conflicts and political instabilities in my country, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, have resulted in making the Democratic Republic of the Congo being the deadliest conflicts after World War II. So it has been an ongoing armed and political instability situation. And I felt like this situation going on and on, I could not be the one to stand idly by. I decided to look for ways to engage actively and non-violently to be part of the solutions. And in our context here with the political and armed instabilities, armed conflict and instabilities, I have realized, I've seen that violence has shown its limits, and non-violence is the antidote. It is the only way to move forward and save lives. That is what motivated me. Over 10 million people have died in the conflict in the Congo. So which means that violence is not the way forward, but non-violence is the solution. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Amani, for your inspiration, your great work. I'm sorry that you had to undergo this horrible, violent situation. But thanks for all the great works that you have been doing. And so we have met first, and then we have met several times afterwards during your nonviolence training at URI Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies. And could you say how this Kenyan nonviolence training impacted you and in your life and the practices that you have been doing so far?
Yeah, remember that after my training, after my level 1 training, I came back to the Congo and started working tirelessly on the Congo Peace School program, which is a school program, an educational oriented program, but focusing on nonviolence and peace. And the Kenyan nonviolence is the heart of the work, the educational work we are doing at the Congo Peace School. We are raising and educating a new generation of peace ambassadors who are going to use nonviolence to be the solution to take my country and the African Great Lakes region in general out of the chaos, where we want to use non-violence as antidote. So we have been focusing on the principles and the steps of non-violence campaign. We have been teaching and raising and educating young boys and girls to engage by using non-violence, and we have started seeing some results, some concrete results in our everyday work. So Kenya non-violence is the heart and the lungs of the work we are doing at the Congo Peace School. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Amani. And that relates to my next question, which is your current practice and engagement of nonviolence. And you have mentioned the Congo Peace School. If you don't mind explaining that a little bit, and also if there is other programs that you would like to mention, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, thank you, Thumpton. Non-violence is the most powerful weapon people can use to change the world, because it benefits everybody. It benefits all the sides. It benefits all the parties. It benefits people who are oppressed, and it benefits at the same time people, the oppressors. So the Congo Peace School is a peace and non-violence oriented program through a formal education package where we are raising and educating a new generation of peace ambassadors, but based on the philosophy of Martin Luther King. We are teaching children the principles, the steps to engage in a non-violence campaign, and we are educating these children on how to look at each other as equal human beings. We are educating them to understand that we have all been created equal. Respect is at the center of what we are doing. Equality is at the center of our everyday life. We are building a beloved community at the Congo Peace School where everybody understands that we are all one. We are all one. What affected one person affects everybody directly. So we are trying to bring everybody together, and we have seen results. When it comes to the last question on how we have been engaged, how we have been practically engaged, we recently launched a non-violent campaign where thousands of community members have come together and have been fighting, have been standing up non-violently for 1 year, standing up to say no to the theft of their land by corrupt people in offices, in government offices, and other people in conflict businesses. They just come and want to take people their lands, and they want to oust people and say, hey, these lands don't belong to you. Whereas people have been living there for centuries, for years. And we have taken the leadership in engaging in this nonviolent campaign. It has taken 1 year. We have also learned that nonviolence means patience. So people have been standing up for 1 year, standing up nonviolently to say no against the theft of their land. We strongly believe that the universe is on the side of justice, 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 justice. So it has taken 1 year, this campaign. It is going on, but we strongly believe in the universe being on the side of justice. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Amani, it seems like you have been raising a new generation of students with education and opportunities to live peacefully and to with equality, justice, and all the great human values. At the same time, you are also training and educating thousands of other community members, adults, with nonviolence and peace ideas and philosophies. So my final question is, So would you like to continue this nonviolence training in the future, or do you have any other plans for the future?
Yeah, we need to continue. We need to continue these trainings. We want all our beloved community members who have participated in these nonviolent trainings at the University of Rhode Island Center for Peace and Nonviolence to join us, because we are all one. No matter where people are, there are always ways to support one another. So we want you to come one day to Congo and train people and be in our trainings. We want the Congo Peace Corps to continue being connected with the URI Center for Peace and Nonviolence and continue sharing experiences and so on and so forth. Because we have seen that the steps to follow in a nonviolence campaign. So people have practiced them. People have really practiced them on the ground. So we need to continue training more people and new generations to come. So there is no way. Violence has shown its limits. Let's give peace and non-violence a chance.
Amani, thank you so much for inviting us, URI Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies, to Congo, and also for implementing and making the nonviolence and peace philosophy and ideas and putting them into real life situation to change for the betterment in Congo and beyond. Thank you so much.
It is my pleasure. Thank you so much, Clinton.
Thank you, Christine, for facilitating this speaker. And now I request Roberta to introduce our next nonviolence trainer, please.
Thank you very much, Tupton. Our next nonviolence trainer is Raju Zakar. Permit me to read a bit of his bio. He's a level 3 Kenyan nonviolence trainer. He's one of our triple threat trainers. He's taken the level 1, level 2, and level 3 training, and he's doing phenomenal things. He's taken these level trainings with the URI Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies. He's a human rights training consultant based in Nepal, and he's working with national and international organizations to promote a culture of peace through a nonviolent approach. After having his first level and second level and then third level nonviolent conflict reconciliation training at URI, he has been engaging in all different modes of peace initiatives and activities, both in Nepal and across the continent of Africa. Most importantly, he founded the Himalayan Peace Studies Center in Nepal, where he has teachers and students
Roberta, we lost the last statement you made about he's founded something. Roberta? Roberta, we didn't hear the last statement that you made.
I think her audio might not be working. Yes, your sound went off, Roberta.
Can you hear us, Roberta? Can you hear us, Roberta? We didn't hear the end of your introduction there.
She just mentioned in the chat that her sound is not working. Would it be okay to just fill in that last sentence?
Sure, I'm happy to just say a few words more about Raju. Raju was working with the United Nations Peacekeeping Mission as an educator and observer in Liberia during the Liberian War. He was there for 3 years. And after 1 or 2 of those years, he visited the United States and attended our initial training program to become a Kenyan nonviolence trainer. He returned to Liberia to continue his mission work there in peace building, working against various forms of violence, particularly sexual violence. When he finished his tour of duty in Liberia, he returned to the US. He did level 2 leadership training with us, and then returned to his home country of Nepal. And it was there that he was inspired to establish the Himalaya Peace Studies Center. We've done a lot of training and visiting with student trips and alternative spring breaks over the last 7, 8, 9 years in Nepal. And but he is the first person to actually take the step to actually institutionalize or create an organized program. And he's doing just incredible work there, and we're very proud of him. Do we have an interview with him, Tupten, we're sharing now?
Yes, I'm going to share that. Thank you, Paul.
Namaste. I'm Raju Zakar from Nepal. I'm a director of the Himalayan Peace Study Center. It is a pleasure moment for me to share some experiences regarding nonviolence and peace movement with you all. First of all, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Professor Paul, Tupten, and participants of this session for this opportunity. Today, in this brief presentation, I would like to share some experiences working in Liberia with UN Peacekeeping Mission, and an introduction of Himalayan Peace Study Center Nepal with some examples of non-violent approach to sustainable peace in the context of Nepal. First, let me start with the experience working in Liberia for peacekeeping efforts. I had been in Liberia with United Nations mission as a human rights officer for 4 years. Liberia is one of the oldest countries in African continent, having 3.5 million populations and blessed with rich natural resources like gold mine, iron ore, palm oil, rubber plants, and more and more. This riches itself became the cause of the war. The UN mission was established in 2003 after the 14 years, 1989 to 2003, long civil war, leaving 250,000 people killed and valuable national infrastructures destroyed. The war ended with the Accra Comprehensive Peace Agreement signed by the conflicting parties. The mission successfully completed its mandate on 30 March 2018, following the general election held in 2017. It would be worthy to recall here now how nonviolence approaches pressurized to reactivate stall peace talk. A group of Liberian women formed an organization called Women of Liberia Mass Action for Peace and forced a meeting with President Charles Taylor, seeking a promise from him to attend peace talk in Ghana, where peace talk was initiated. They organized non-violence protests and continued to put pressure on the warring faction during the peace process. They staged a silent protest outside the presidential palace, demanding to reactivate the stalled peace talk and formulate the peace agreement. Their creative non-violent protest allowed them to use the power within women and mothers of Africa, Liberia. Tactics included a sex strike until their men choose to set aside weapons and threatening to undress during a sit-in outside the venue of peace talks in Ghana. Consequently, the peace agreement was signed and brought forward. Working together, over 3,000 Christian and Muslim women mobilized their efforts, and as a result, the women were able to achieve peace in Liberia after 14 years civil war and help bring to power the country's first female president. Among the women leaders who helped end the civil war was Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who became the first modern elected female head of state in Africa when she was elected in 2005. Now, let me talk some United Nations supports for the implementation of the peace process. The United Nations mission in Liberia was established to support the implementation of the ceasefire agreement and the peace process, protect United Nations staff, facilities, and civilians, supports humanitarian and human rights activities, as well as assist in national security reform, including national police training and formation of a new restructured military. There was a section within the mission called the Reconciliation and Peace Consolidation that supported in the implementation of its mandate through the strategic areas like conflict transformation and national integration, and youth and civil society empowerment. This section was responsible for supporting reconciliation, conflict transformation, and resolution by helping the Liberian government to build community conflict management, capacity to strengthen resilience and address social conflicts such as those arising from concession development, build a cohesion national identity, a shared vision ensuring an inclusive reconciliation process, develop youth empowerment policy and programming, coordinate, design and implement strategic peace building and reconciliation frameworks for support to national institutions, ensure civil society participation in national reform to include developing appropriate legal mechanism and policies for land dispute resolution and equity to land, which offers social, economic, and cultural benefits to each individuals. Now, the country has more to do and make double efforts to translate their commitments into reality on the ground to ensure people should not be suffered by violent activities again, and to institutionalize peace to respect aspiration of the people. Now, I would like to share some experience of nonviolence movement in the context of Nepal. Nepal has experienced 10 years, 1996 to 2006, long civil war, launched by then Nepal Communist Party Maoist, leaving at least 17,000 people killed, hundreds of thousands displaced, thousands of people disappeared, and national infrastructure destroyed. Then violent rebel group Maoist agreed to cease fire and united with the political parties for non-violent political movement against some oppressive regime. 2 months long, nationwide, non-violent powerful movement made King to step down. The political transition and arms race was possible through the non-violent protest against the tyranny regime. I also would like to share an experience about the recent non-violence movement in Nepal. Enough is Enough, led by the volunteer youth groups against the corruption in relation to medical supplies to handle COVID-19. The movement also demanded 100 PCR tests to identify, trace, to control the rapid spreading of COVID-19. The movement spread rapidly nationwide, which pressured Nepalese government to publish tentative statement of the expenses. Later, to pressurize the government more, the leader went for satyagraha, hunger strike, along with fellow friends. Initially for 12 days in June, and then again for 23 days in July. Many volunteers joined the Satyagraha. Creative peaceful protests were organized in different places to support the movement and pressurize the Nepalese government. This movement was different in relation to the participation and approaches. Participants were students non-affiliated with political parties. The movement was founded upon honesty and non-violence, so it taught the core youth and whole nation was united for the common cause to deal with COVID-19 situation. As Kathmandu Valley was locked down, the movement followed all the safety protocols with social distancing and wearing face masks. Nepal's government tried to disturb the movement and did not respond easily to the hunger strike, but strong belief in non-violent movement and its impact to bring all the political alliance to movement, pressure the government and agreement made possible. My observation from above two scenarios in non-violence movement attracts larger participation. It doesn't lose valuable lives, it doesn't lose valuable resources and infrastructures, and raises hope among the larger population for better future. It paves the path for sustainable peace. Finally, in brief, I would like to share about Himalayan Peace Studies Center Nepal. It was formally initiated in 2018 to institutionalize peace through nonviolence approach. The center is inspired by the Center for the Nonviolence and Peace Studies at University of Rhode Island. Professor Paul was one of the chief guests to inaugurate the center during International Peace Seminar organized in Nepal by Rotary Club of Kabre, Nepal. The center envisions to integrate Gandhian Kenyan principle of nonviolence with Buddha's perspective. We are planning to organize several activities at national and international level in this regard in the future. Thank you all for your participation to listen to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all. So we all started with message from Amani all the way from DR Congo. And then we went to Raju Zakar from Nepal in Asia. And also he mentioned about Liberia, situation in Liberia. And now we will go to a nonviolence trainer who originally came from Haiti, but she is here, our own local Rhode Islander. So her name is Anise Germain. Anise Germain is a level 2 Kenyan nonviolence trainer from the URI Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies. She was born and raised in Haiti, where she witnessed and experienced violence, which actually forced her to leave everything behind, her career, her family, her friends, and she moved to Rhode Island in 2009, where she continues her activism for positive social change in Haiti, as well as in here in the US. She co-founded Hope and Change in Haiti, a non-profit organization that aims to improve the lives of others through community development and advocacy. In Rhode Island, she works for the National Organization for Women, advocating for women's rights and equality. She recently won the election to serve in the Council of Cranston City here in Rhode Island. And so we had an interview with her recently, and she actually highly recommended all the political leaders to take this nonviolence training, because she said this training really helped her in dealing with the process and also winning the election. So let's look at a part of her interview. Let me pull that up.
And I have to tell you, my first, when I applied to become a certified nonviolence trainer, it was at first for a personal interest. It was a personal interest. Mm-hmm. And to be able to do what I'm doing. So that was my first objective. So how this training impacted me, influenced my work in daily life. I have to tell you, one of the principles say nonviolence is the way of life. And I do believe after I completed the first training, and this was so transformational for me. And I learned so much in the history, in how to, one of the things I always use, how to put yourself in somebody else's shoe. That's give me this approach to not rush to judge people, not to rush to make my voice heard first. This training helped me to practicing listening skills, not to jump when you see something, and take it a step back to analyze, and before you make a move. I have to share with you some example how this training influenced my work and helped me make some changes. Yes. So this training, you know, I understand clearly the challenges between race relations. This training helped me to understand this challenge. And not only understand the challenges with race relations, but also to challenge people who are reluctant to understand that we are one people still in the 21st century. And even though we cannot forget our past, but we need to use our present to move for the future. So one example I can share with you is when I went to an organization that has an event, and there was a young Black woman, and she has a business. And her business, she said, hey, I am not doing business with white people. I am not toward collaborating with white people. They are racist, they this, they that. And I talked to her and I said, you know, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. collaborated with white people. You know, all the great progress we made toward racial justice, even though we're still working on it, but there is a lot of progress that I have made. But the progress that we made is in collaboration with our allies. And you need to understand, if we want to move forward to a beloved community, we need to collaborate with those who understand, who are our allies, to make change. So when you said you are not collaborating with white people, you just take a step back. You're not moving forward. We need to have a beloved community. So segregation is not a result for us to move forward. So I understand your fear, I understand your disappointment from the past, and we still have those happening, but we need all people who want change to collaborate together to make the change. And a couple months, not even months later, and weeks later, she wrote something, a post on Facebook, and she said, Anis, I love you. Now I do services with white people. This is the beloved community. So that for me was something I could do based on the philosophy of Dr. King, based on the training I completed at the Center for Peace, Nonviolence and Peace Studies. So that's one piece I use in my interaction with others to make changes. And this, as of now, this woman, I saw her, we've been on some other rallies together, and she makes friends, and I saw she posts pictures with white women who are in the same, field with her. They exchange, now she's so engaged and collaborate with other white women. So that's for me, a small piece of impact that my training helped me to make. Another example, I went to a meeting where I'm part of the organization, and there was a vote to make. And I saw people talk to, we tend to, when we have a differences, so that's the way we raise, we still have it, attack the people. And I remember the principle, attack, you don't attack the people, you attack the issue, the root cause of the problem. And I told them, this is not a right approach, because what you're doing here, you attack the person. You attack the personal, you get personal. So we need to attack the root cause of the problem. The systemic issue we have is not one person's fault, but it's a systemic structural issue. So to have this language, so this training helped me to have the right language to influence. And I thought, you know what? I should vote for that, but I'm not voting for it, because the way we approach it is attacking a personal people, the people. We don't attack people. We attack the root cause of the problem. And because of my reaction, because of my approach, the vote was not taking in the direction it was to go. So that's another space of small, I would say, influence that the training helped me to make.
Thank you. So we are posting the whole interview with Anis and many others on our center YouTube channel. So please feel free to visit and have listen to many of such wonderful speakers on our YouTube channel. And so now I would request Dr. Christine to tell us a little bit about the academic impacts of the training and the center.
I do want to just invite folks too, if anyone has questions, we have just a few minutes left. So I really want to give the participants in this session an opportunity to weigh in, either in the chat or just unmute yourself. But if there are any comments or questions about the training or this kind of work or the role of the center, we have a set of experts here who would certainly be happy to engage those comments. So I will give it a second for that. But just invite you to unmute yourself or pop a question in the chat if you'd like. All right, so there are some comments in the chat about emails of the guest speakers so that you can potentially follow up. And also a link to the Summer Institute for Nonviolence training if anybody would like to seek out that opportunity. Any questions? I know we are reaching the 5 o'clock hour. So, well, I will say, I just wanted to speak about one of the things that I think is a really unique contribution to the center. I think we've had a really great opportunity to see the diversity in the types of change that the training of the center provides for really shaping the efficacy and engagement of folks who participate in the trainings in the world. But you know, I'm a director of an academic program, and most of us go into academics thinking that we will save the world and change the world, and then we end up writing a lot of papers that no one reads. And I think that one of the truly amazing things that the center brings to URI as a strength is its integration into academic programming, both in the minor in nonviolence, which is a really great opportunity for undergraduate students to get exposure and engagement in both theory and practice. But in particular, the center really holds a pivotal piece of one of the core concentrations of the graduate program in international relations in the global peace studies track. And typically what students in this type of program would receive is training in theory, a lot of engagement in the literature and studies of nonviolence, and some readings about practitioners or other kinds of materials. The opportunity at URI, because of the center and the relationship with the center, is that we have active practitioners who are part of a weekly course. It's a core requirement in the program that has been taught by both Paul Bueno de Mesquita, Tupton, and Roberta as an opportunity to really bring students into watching the theory applied in practice and seeing the transformative power and opportunities and ways in which nonviolent engagement and theory shapes the world. And that is really, I cannot say enough about the ability of that integration of scholar practitioner that students are being trained to do, and the type of exposure and efficacy that it really relates. I'm probably even selling it a bit short, but it's such a rich contribution to the curriculum that's unparalleled in the study of global peace. It is really a unique opportunity, and we're tremendously grateful for the partnership with the program and the rich contributions that it brings to all of our educational experience. So if there are any additional remarks that Tupton or Roberta or Paul would like to make, I would certainly like to welcome those, but I'm very grateful for everybody's time and participation this evening.
Kristen, I'll just add on those great comments you just made there about the value, I think, of the center, not only the legacy it inherited directly from Dr. King through Bernard Lafayette, but through these ideas, the philosophies, the methodologies for nonviolent change. But I think your comments really, highlight the value of the theory and traditional classroom work with real live practice. What does this knowledge and information actually look like when it's put into real life, in real conflict, in real dangerous areas and violent areas of the world? And to me, my years with the center, it's been very inspirational, and I think it should give everyone a sense of hopefulness and also how valuable this is. And thank you for your remarks about the importance of it as an asset to our academic work at the university.
Oh,
Hi, I am sorry. Hello, I would like to ask you a question. I checked the web page for the training, and I didn't see the date. Do you have any dates for 2020 or 2021?
oh, thank you. So, all right. So I'm just sharing you here from our website. So To your question, no, sorry, we don't have the date scheduled yet for 2021, but this past August in 2030, we did had a training. So International Nonviolent Summer Institute 2020. And so we did had that in August, and this was kind of unique experience because of the online virtual training. But we had about 300 participants, and it was wonderful from different countries, different states in the US, and also within our Rhode Island state, we had many participants, faculty, staff from like RISD and Brown and PC and other colleges, as well as, you know, from other organizations. So there was wonderful. And so I would mention that so far we had more than participants from hundreds of participants from more than 50 countries around the world, including like people who are actively training in Afghanistan, Pakistan, you know, of course, Haiti and Liberia and Nigeria and many other countries. So it's a wonderful opportunity again to participate, to join nonviolence trainer from all different parts of the world. So if you go there, you can see the list of alumni list and divided into different countries, and I think it would be a wonderful opportunity to join, and we hope that we get a fixed time soon for 2021.
And I just added just a note. Thank you for explaining that. I think much of our planning, Celine, is dependent on, you know, the state of Rhode Island, the COVID national, you know, emergency situations that are really getting out of hand now, and it's very hard for us to establish, you know, what will happen. I mentioned in the note that usually the Summer Institute, for about the first 10 years, was in the middle of July. The last almost 12 years, it's been in the first 2 weeks of June. But this year, as Tupten explained, it was postponed and delayed, and then we were able to do an online version the last few days of July and the first day of August. So it's uncertain, but as soon as we know something, we will be advertising. If you are not on the mailing list, if you go to the website that Tupten was showing you, go to our center website, that's uri.edu/nonviolence. There's a small envelope icon, and if you click on there, you can add your name and email address, and you would be, you know, kept updated as to announcements, newsletters, and information about the Summer Institute.
I think we have reached our time. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here and for your patience and your interest. Anybody like to add a final word?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.